Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to another Dave World Toys. Well, weird Tuesday night live toy chat. Hope you all guys can hear me out there perfectly clear. I have actually got a super guest in the background just before I introduce him. This is a part of a 4-night spectacular of getting people out there and that sort of stuff from 3 years on YouTube and 1K subs. Well, hopefully you guys should know him in the toy universe. Cross my fingers. It is introducing Super Squirrel. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, how are you, man? You alright?
I'm not too bad. How are you this fine evening, sir?
Yeah, not bad at all, mate. So, first of all, congrats on 1,000 subs, man.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
I know,
Just to let,
I know how much of a slug it can be, so congrats, dude.
it took me almost 3 years to get it. I was up at 550 subs in August, and then the America holidays bumped me all the way up to crazy times.
Yeah.
So it's been a slug trial. You know, I've got almost like just over 500,000 views, 1,500 videos a day. I haven't missed a day since I started, but there you go. Just before we get into the questions, we have Dark Liking 81, which I'll do my Thursday night toy chats. You've got a good friend, Erling, Mark. You've also got Connor, full of figures from Ireland, which is, they normally do a Tuesday night chat as well. And then you had last night's L10 Day on. He was on last night channel. So just for the new people that might not know your channel, which I'll be surprised, what do you actually collect, Super?
I collect a good mixture of stuff, to be honest, but my main focus of the past few years has been mainly sort of Star Wars and sort of like monsters and mutants, is what I would say, is what I would go by.
Perfect.
So Universal Monsters being a big part of it nowadays. I've been loving collecting Universal Monsters recently and delving deeper into the sort of like darker side of Marvel Legends. So your Man-Things and your Draculas and all that kind of
stuff. We did a few bits yesterday with L10 Day. He was showing off some of the new NECA figures, like the blood versions and a few bits. And they were just unbelievable sculpts and bits. Anything else you collect in the world of toys? Or I know you dabble in a bit of everything and everything, don't you?
Bit of everything. I'm a big action figure guy, so if it's nostalgic to me from my childhood, I'll probably have a figure of it. So like your Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, bit of everything going on, horror, sci-fi.
Yeah. Just to let you know, Jonathan's note in the chat, you've also got Ronaldo from America. So thanks for joining us on this special Tuesday night live stream with Super Squirrel. So technically, if you describe yourself as a one-kid person or collector, I'm almost like a Playmates kid because I collect more Playmates than with Bandai's second, but it's very close between the two. What would you say your main toy company is?
Main, I would say the main one would be Hasbro for me. It is slowly shifting as time's moving on. I'm collecting a lot more NECA these days, but yeah, Hasbro obviously because the sheer amount of lines that they have, probably the mass of my collection would be Hasbro.
Yeah, because I know you collected Star Wars in the past. You went to Galaxy's Edge last year on that America holiday. It's unbelievable what some of the toys you've always been going to Lego and that sort of like the 100 Disney set or something like yesterday.
Yeah, I did. I've been me and the wife have been collecting Disney as well. So we've got the Disney 100 play sets. There's going to be a lot of that Disney 100 this year, so I'm getting in on some of that merch. Some nice stuff coming out, like Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Like he's never had much merch before, and he's starting to get a lot more now, which is cool.
Yeah, because normally Disney you only get the films and that sort of stuff, and then it just disappears, doesn't it? It's nice to get more characters because I know when I went to America, I went specifically for the McDonald's play things.
Yeah.
Playmobil train. Was it the 45th anniversary or 75th anniversary of the Playmobil? You know, the train. which I eventually got. They were very hard to get hold of, but you know. So technically, then NECA and other horror people companies. What drives you to that then?
So I've always been into that sort of the darker side of stuff. Even as a kid, I was a massive fan. I grew up on like your Fox Kids programming. So I grew up on Eerie Indiana, Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark? I grew up in that side of things, and the Goosebumps books were massive when I was coming up.
Yeah.
So I've always been into the sort of like, your vampires, your werewolves, your monsters, and as I started collecting, I started out like everyone does, going for your Star Wars and your older stuff, and then as I sort of got into toy collecting, I was like, this doesn't represent me, I don't think, anymore. So I kind of sold quite a lot of it off, and then this is what I refer to as collection 2.0.
Yeah.
Because like, how many Stormtroopers do you need on one shelf? Let's be honest, Hasbro, not that many.
No.
So I sold off a big chunk of my collection and then replaced it with what's behind me now, which, as you see, is a lot. I've got like the latest, like the Elvira, and I've got all the Universal monsters, Super Sevens monsters. And then even on like over here, I've got the original lineup for the Legion of Monsters from Marvel. So like you got Man-Thing, Ghost Rider, Morbius, and Elsa Bloodstone. I've even built like a custom version of Frankencastle. And then,
just to let you guys know, Super Scroll did do a room tour recently on his channel. Is that a couple of days ago, was it? That's quite a recent room tour.
Yeah, about a week or so ago, I did the room tour for this year, and I changed a lot around again.
But technically, you've got another room that's got all your back stocking and bits and pieces. I know you. It's like you, me, and Baz just buy everything and anything we see, and it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, and you do not want to see me at a toy fair because I'm just arms full of stuff.
Yeah,
staggering out to the car.
Well, at least you can find you. That's the main thing. At least you can say who you are. So, but, so technically, then you've also got a Hell's Club on, which means you're a big Stranger Things fan.
Big Stranger Things, big D&D fan. Yeah, massively. It's been great seeing how Stranger Things has brought the world of D&D kind of back to the forefront for a lot of people, and a lot of youngsters that didn't know about it kind of getting into it because of Stranger Things, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Do you think that makes an influence on people buying stuff? Like, we know the realm of action figures, retro's gone up because of the toys that made us, the toy shop near us and everything else. Do you think they did the same thing with D&D because of the popularity of Stranger Things?
So if you sort of, especially in the UK, you sort of saw it happen with HMV. They started out with a small Stranger Things section, then it evolved into like Stranger Things and Dungeons and Dragons. Now the movie's out and Hasbro's put a load of stuff out. It's become a D&D section, and they've got all the gaming stuff in HMV now, which is awesome. So like kids can very easily get their hands on like a starter set, the dice. They can very easily grab that stuff now without having to go to a tabletop shop.
Yeah. Technically, the only other tabletop shop close to it, or probably completely different, was Warhammer, wasn't it? Or Games Workshop. Is it similar or completely different? Two different realms?
Very two different realms. Yeah. So Games Workshop is more your tabletop, your miniatures and stuff. Dungeons and Dragons, you'll probably find in like the geek retreat shops nowadays. They're kind of coming up.
Perfect. So technically, any advice, if you play it yourself, then any advice you'd give to people if you want to start Dungeons and Dragons or that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it sounds really daft, but the best thing I've ever said to people was, if you want to play Dungeons and Dragons, don't bother getting a rule book, don't bother getting a dice. Just get a good dungeon master that's played before, and you can do it with the flip of a coin if you want. It's just about getting people into storytelling and getting people into the idea of how Dungeons and Dragons works. So it's all that, I leaned against, I walk into a room, what do I see? And then the dungeon master tells you what's in the room. And it's just getting people into the habit of doing that style of gameplay. And then you introduce the dice, then you introduce the proper rules. Once people have got used to the idea of D&D, I think that is probably the best way of doing it. Just a small little campaign. There's 10 goblins over there with a treasure chest. You want the treasure chest? Let's go get it. And
basically, it's the dungeon master, how he goes through the game and you really need a good character, a good dungeon master, isn't it?
If you're playing with a dungeon master whose idea is just to destroy you, it's not going to be a fun game. It should always be about the story and the storytelling.
Yeah, a good story makes anything good, isn't it? like wrestling and that sort of stuff. A good story makes to watch. You want to tune in every week. That sort of stuff. Same with like DC, Mandalorian, everything. The story drags you into the series, and like the movie, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like again with the to go back to Stranger Things as a reference point, like the idea that those 4 kids are sat around that table in they're just in the parents' basement, but they're having their own wild adventures in their heads, rolling dice. That's just awesome.
Yeah. I can remember a couple of games back in the 80s that completely got on my head, but it's like a barbarian on the front of the box. They reissued it a couple of years ago. I know that's completely different again. It's like they're all different categories. It's crazy, but it's weird. So thank you for that. You also mentioned like Hasbro then. Anything new you recently picked up just for Hasbro, or anything recently coming that you say that's a bit different than normal?
One second, let me grab a few things.
Just while you do that, we have. Last time I played Dungeons, it cost me $200. Ooh. Thank you for that, Connor. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'll put Super Scrawl's information in the description after, just in case you don't follow him. So
a couple of figures that I picked up recently was the Power Rangers is doing a massive, like crossover thing at the moment. We've just had Street Fighter, and now they're going for the Cobra Kai ones. We've got the Daniel LaRusso White Crane Ranger, which is just so random, but I love it.
Yeah.
Bad likeness.
Well, at least he goes with the White Ranger and Crane Ranger. The head sculpt is not too bad. So
yeah, it's not too bad. Everyone were kind of saying, well, maybe I'll just replace the head and it can be Tommy. Oh, unless Tommy goes to Miyagi-Do.
Oh, that's a nice nod. That's
yeah, it's a cool fig.
So technically, the back of the figures are the nicest.
What I love the most about Hasbro at the moment is the random Fortnite line. How random the characters are. So we've got this character here, which I picked up in Entertainer for like a tenner this week, which is a steal. And looking at like the figures from Fortnite, they all look like they belong in some like Mad Max dystopian future. So if you're like me and you love doing your figure photography or your world building, she looks great, whether you're using her in a Star Wars diorama, just a random action figure diorama. She could be anything because she looks like she belongs anywhere. And that's what I love about the Fortnite line. And they seem to fit in anywhere. So like recently, I imagined her as doing mechanics. So like having her down on like knees or like fixing a speeder, and just in the background of a shot, and you would not tell that were a Fortnite figure.
No, I wouldn't want to say it wasn't a Fortnite. It didn't look like a Fortnite figure. It almost looks like something out of Marvel, like Tank Girl, and that like one version of Tank Girl, and
so it means again you could use her in a Marvel display. You could use her anywhere. That's what I love about it. Just such a versatile little thing.
That is crazy. So technically, then you more or less pick up if it's diversity to other lines or put into other lines. It more or less takes your fancy and toy realm then.
Yeah. So because I like doing a lot of figure photography and stuff like that, and like if I can world build with it, if like a character could be in the background of a certain shot that they don't look like any particular character, just something generic, then they kind of fit in. Because sometimes when you try and use toys that don't fit, they stand out like a sore thumb sometimes. So you kind of want some like generic side characters that just go anywhere.
Yeah. So technically, it's like it comes down to price and then versatility and all the rest of stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So I know at one stage you had a massive Star Wars stuff behind you. You got thousands and thousands from Star Wars, your America trip. It's always been on your channel and bits. Any advice you'd put out to like YouTubers or channel, like where you've done toys yourself?
So yeah, what do you mean with YouTube in general? Like
just in general, like how would you do like your toys, like your perspective on like that sort of stuff?
Yes, I mean with YouTube, I've always done daily videos. That's always been my thing. I like producing a lot of content. I'm not happy unless I'm putting a video out. That's just me. I love doing it.
Yeah.
And Star Wars was like the main thing that kicked off the channel, and it'll always be on the channel. I'll always be a big Star Wars kid at heart, but things things go up and down and fluctuate. Whereas it's like right now I'm not heavily into the line right now. I'm not big into some of the new stuff they've been producing. But they're slowly winning me back over with things like these though. Hang on. They're slowly winning me back over with these bad boys. Your Mara Jade and your Dr. Afro.
Yeah.
But they're not winning me over with this packaging though, I'm telling you that. What is that about? Plasticky cover. What's going on?
Oh, they took the plastic inside away. Oh.
So like I assumed that the plastic inside here would still be regular because this is like a special packaging I'm paying like through the nose for this fancy box. But now they've done this. It's like it negates the box entirely to me.
What's the point of putting the extra cardboard sleeve on?
Exactly. This may as well have just been in one of the regular boxes. I don't understand why they've done this with the boxes, to be honest. Because these were like special boxes originally, and I kind of liked the fact that they look like books on the shelf and they kind of look cool.
Well, at least they all match up with all the old series. That's the only good thing. At least you don't need to completely change that sort of stuff. So I think that's the only good thing about it. Yeah. Are you heading down to Star Wars Celebration the weekend?
No. Oh, no. Far too expensive.
Yeah.
I did look up the prices and I was like, I don't negate anyone that's going, but like I couldn't justify it to myself. I was like, I looked at it and it was for the same price of for me because I'm up north, going to London on the train and back with train tickets thrown in, food for each day, and prices of the vouchers, the entrance fee for each day, plus spending money.
Yeah.
I could take my family to Disneyland Paris for the same price for 4 nights. I'm like,
yeah. Technically, the tickets are like 65 quid each. I live in like the West Midlands, Birmingham area, like Midlands area, and it's still 40 quid on trains. It was even looking like £150 a day with food, drink, and travel before you even set out the door. And I thought, the only thing you get there is a lanyard and like a badge, and that's it. Is it worth it? I'm a bit gutted I'm not going because I chose something else. I've got something else coming up, like a toy fair and a few bits.
Yeah.
But to lay like 150, the tickets put me off to get in the place at 65 quid. I was just like, for getting nothing to getting in or nothing, you might get a few pin badges and a few bits when you get in, but what day do you go then? It's just too ridiculous, isn't it?
What put me off was when I saw the price of how much it is to meet people when you're there. Like I've always wanted to meet like Ashley Eckenstein, but 230 odd quid for an autograph. No.
Yeah.
I can't justify that.
I would like to take a guess or how much it would be to get if you wanted the 4-day pass, the hotel, plus one autograph from everyone there and all the exclusive Star Wars Celebration merch. I'm like, you got no chance, have you?
No. But one good thing is that my good friend Richard down in London, he lives down there. He's going to the con, and he's basically going to live stream, and we're going to put it on my channel with me hosting it. So we're going to have a bit of a celebration walk around and live stream on my channel on the Friday. So.
Any idea what time? I'll be definitely watching that.
Yeah, I'll announce it in advance. As soon as he's basically got in the building, he said he'll start his live stream, and we'll just go from there. So it should be like 11 o'clock in the morning, I thought, 10, 11.
Perfect.
As soon as he's in.
Because technically, all the live streams I've seen, like in America, Anaheim, and everywhere else, it's just looking at the stage. And occasionally, you might get the one or two celebrities they get in just to walk around, but not much. I only interview one or two, and that's it. It's crazy.
Yeah, so the idea was my mate Rich is going to basically just have his day at Comic-Con with the GoPro attached to his chest, and basically whatever he sees, we see. So the idea is he's just going to walk around the con, go to the stalls, go to the things, and take us with him. That is the idea. We're just along for the bird's eye view.
Oh, okay. I'm booked in Friday, so I'm definitely even there Friday.
That's what I thought.
So technically, I was going down Friday. So
yeah, like you say, a lot of the streams that I've seen in the past have just been, like you say, either like they'll just film one stage and continually hold the camera there, so you have to see whatever's there. You very rarely see the floor of the actual celebration itself. You just see the stages.
You mainly see the stages, and then after the show, you virtually see like the exhibits they do there, and that's it. It's ridiculous, So, hey, just to let you know, we got Shabby Geek from America. He was on my Sunday night chat. So, thanks, evening, chaps. Hope you're doing well. So technically, then you based in the UK, same as me. Any
Mm-hmm.
toy fairs or shows or Comic Cons or anything you'd recommend to go to? Because technically, I only go to like the NEC Toy Fair, which is not this weekend, next weekend. And I'll speak to
Yeah.
you. I'll speak to everyone about more about that later. I've got a special live stream next Tuesday.
Nice.
I've got one of the owners of the company that's coming on again to my channel next Tuesday night
Oh, cool.
for like an hour special to tell us all about the show again and basically the Barry Potter show. So,
Nice.
which shows do you go to, and any you recommend?
So like when I first started doing Comic Cons, I did like what everyone does. I started going to like the Manchester MCMs and things like that, the big ones. And I always felt like it was very busy for what it was, and it was just like I just wanted to shop and just have fun. So I started going to the Unleashed events because they're all like in my area. So like there's like there's like Unleashed in like Sheffield, York, Gateshead, Durham. They're all like round the top north of the country, and I was in Leeds. So it's very easy for me to get to all these events. And there's like 15 events a year. So I do all their kind of like circuit. But it's been good because obviously I started filming these cons when they were like in their infancy.
Yeah.
And now they've become really big shows down here. And like I have my own stall at these places now. Like I've become a toy dealer from being a part of all these shows and collecting over the years. So It's been cool to go from like just being someone who goes to the cons to being a part of the show, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Just before you carry on, you've also now got Roland's Reviews, which is another partner of Shabby called Tez. He's an amazing collector. And then I did miss someone, Brian's action figures. And the game I was thinking about was Hero Quest.
Oh, Brian's in Brian.
With Thingamabobs. I know he's part of the Irish group, which normally do Tuesday night. So
me and Brian and David Displays Model Behavior. We did a podcast for like about 5 weeks, and then we gave it up. Back in the day, I remember that was good. But yeah, I've not spoken to Brian in ages, mate. How you doing? Hope you're good. Roland's Reviews. I've seen some of his videos as well. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, he more or less does Spectrum games, Star Wars. You know, he's normally a part of the ZSR or USR guys on a Friday night, which they're not on this week, but they're definitely back the week after because I think it's Tez's anniversary this weekend for his missus, so he can't do it on Friday. Shabby's in America, and Matt 0 Toys is going to Star Wars. With a few of the other guys I know, so but there you go. So any other shows you'd recommend?
I mainly just do the Unleashed ones. I know a lot of people, and I'll tell you what other one I do. One that always comes up for horror collectors here in Sheffield is the Magna Science Centre. It's like a big steel mill. It used to be a big steel mill, and now it's kind of like a museum. It's the perfect setting for a horror con. And we have the horror. It's just called HorrorCon UK. Something wicked this way comes is their tagline. And every May they do a big HorrorCon there, and because it's the steel mill, it just seems to fit. Everything's like dark and dingy, and there's like they've got like a rafters section which is all metal. And there were a guy dressed as Freddy Krueger up there last year, and he actually had a metal claw on, and he kept running it down the side of the railings to get people's attention. It was just such a cool, like, you could film him for ages. He was so in character, that guy. We were loving it. But yeah, it's such a good con. And they have a good mixture of like haunted house like attractions within Magna and the actual event, like with all the stalls and stuff. So it's always fun.
So when's that again?
That's in May, and it's over a course of a weekend, and it's in Magna, Sheffield.
Well, definitely, I might have a look into that. If it's not when I'm going down to London, MCM London, I might look into that because I know there's a guy called Monopoly Events do their horror con up and down the country.
Yeah, for the love of horror, that's in Manchester way, isn't it? Bowler Centre, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
I've never got to one of them because they always seem to sell out pretty quick. Into their events.
Yeah, I know the owners because basically the old owners used to be in one group and then they split. I know there's a few other shows now up and down the country called Spirit Events. They're going into like sports hall, but it's another part of the Showmasters. The two main guys, I think, are half split from Showmasters, Jason Joyner and Mark. They've like split and gone their own ways. So technically, there's now like, it's almost like becoming almost now it's show every weekend.
Yeah. Showmasters was your film and Comic Cons, wasn't it? They did like London Film and Comic Con, and
Yes, they still do.
Yeah, because they did the one up in Sheffield that for a long time, but then they stopped doing that one now. Sadly.
Yeah, their biggest one was Milton Keynes.
Yeah.
They do London Film and Comic Con. They more or less, honestly, Super. They always come down to, honestly, for me, they come down to guests. There, if you want guests, that's the place to go to.
Yeah.
If you don't want guests, because they're normally like 60, 70 guests, that's where you go. For toy-wise, it's okay, but not as good as other shows and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so you got to weigh them up.
So, back to your YouTube channel then. So, how long have you been doing YouTube for then?
So I started doing YouTube when all the merchandise for Force Awakens dropped. It was my wife's idea. I basically got back into collecting when Disney Store started reselling all the Boba Fett stuff again. All these random action figures of Boba Fett started popping up. It was those die-cast metal figures that Disney were producing at the time called the Elite Series.
Yeah.
They did Boba Fett in that as part of Wave 1, so I was like, yeah, I'm having that. And then I saw a 3-inch figure of Boba Fett that reminded me of my childhood. So I'm like, yeah, I'm having one of them. And then my wife's like, I'm walking out of Disney Store. She went, you need to really start talking about this crap on YouTube. I says, why? She goes, well, there's all these other people online that are talking about it. So you may as well join and do something with it all, basically. So I basically got home that night, put my phone in front of me, and just started filming and talking. And that's where it came from. Sorrel, my channel name, was my gamer tag on Xbox, still is to this day. And I basically put it in because I didn't know what else to put. And I thought to myself, I'll change that later. Never changed it.
No, I like the name, so it is quite a good name. I'll give you that one. And then technically, you hit 39K the other month, is it? The couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, so the other day I hit 39,000. YouTube Shorts has been a big thing for me. That's kind of because I kind of plateaued around 35,000. Everything kind of stopped and plateaued for a while. Other channels during lockdown started coming up a bit more around me. And I decided to jump on the Shorts bandwagon because not a lot of people were doing it. Everyone were kind of scared of it. So I jumped straight into the Shorts. And I've had some really good success with it. And that kind of boosted it from 35 to 39. Yeah. I'm hoping to get over the 40 by end up next month, hopefully.
Yeah, Mark says congratulations on it all. So.
Thank you, dude.
So, guys, if you get any chat, I know there's over 10 people watching, so if anyone's got any questions for Super Scroll, please put them in the chat. We'll try and get to them. Thanks again for Mark and Dark Liking for looking after the chat, just in case we do get any weird people joining. But there you go. We always get the weirdos, but there you go. So, yes, but no, 39K. Do you get scary of like how much content you put out or that? Because to be perfectly honest, for 3 years, like I said, almost 1,500 videos. I put quite nervous putting so much content out or showing toys off and that sort of stuff.
No, I'm not bothered. I'd rather, because my thoughts were, if I'm putting out a video and I'm not getting major views on it, but if I produce content that can be watched at any point, they'll be on the internet forever. And the more of it I produce, the more views you're getting just out of because you've got that many videos online. So I was going for the quantity plan. It's like if no one's gonna watch them, then I'm gonna drown you in them. So I just started pumping out videos, and that's how it's been ever since.
Yeah. Ryan, good evening, Gerard. How you doing? And then, just for you, what do you think of the QC for Hasbro and Power Rangers figures array for the quality control issues?
I've not had many quality control. When it comes to Power Rangers, I mainly collect like the crossover lines and the Mighty Morphin. I never really delved into any of the other lines because I stopped watching Power Rangers around the time of about Turbo, I think, when I was a kid. So I got the original Mighty Morphin line and your Lord Zeds and your Rita Repulsors and all that stuff. So I've not had any quality control issues with them. They've been okay. I've noticed a few issues with some of the modern ones, like the Street Fighter ones were fine, but these last Cobra Kai ones have been a bit iffy. I'm not gonna lie, they're a bit the legs don't go together, and the hip joints a little bit. Like when it came out of the box, the hip was completely like lowered down, and yeah, it feels clunky. It doesn't feel as smooth as the other figures. Like I can't even lift his leg forward. It's proper stiff.
So it's almost like you need to get the hair dryer on, and bits like
it feels like it could definitely snap very easily. That
yeah,
it's very stiff, and yeah, I've noticed a few like these ones are the ones that I've noticed that are a bit came out the packaging a bit iffy.
Yeah, the new ones are getting a bit more QC troubles, and
I think Hasbro's having trouble in general. I think, isn't it, at this point?
perfectly honest, at least it's Hasbro. It used to be NECA when they started. Their quality control was terrible. You know, as soon as you took the figure out, it just collapsed in the box. You know, I was remembering that, and you know, it's crazy. But yeah. But yeah, technically, it's like been like so technically, you've seen like the price increase then through the toy shows and everything else. Then, do you think it will eventually go down? Because even a few of our eBay friends have said, they keep ringing me up and said, Dave, I've got to sell no anything but eBay. I was like, because of now the toy fairs are now back in full effect. Yeah. And people can get out. People are going back to the toy fairs, conventions, Comic Cons to pick up the stuff. Do you think that's the right way of saying it now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I myself sell at Comic Cons because eBay and the fees and stuff to sell on eBay these days are ludicrous. You're eating into any form of benefit you're getting out of selling it. To be honest, you may as well give it away. So yeah, Comic Cons are where I've found it's better to sort of like buy and sell these days and trade and whatever have you.
Yeah, because you always get like a bag guy come round and says, "Oh, I've got a bag full of trades. If you want to see, let's see what we got," and you slightly get it cheaper and that sort of stuff.
Oh, there's a guy that runs a stall, DNA Toys. It's called Dario. He's
I know
awesome. So he comes to my stall and he'll find something and he'll go, "Come on, let's have a look at my stall." And he'll he'll put his arm around me like, "Come on, let's have a walk to my stall." And he'll go, "Well, I want that," and how much asking for that? So I'll say 30, and he'll be like, "Okay, have a look at my stock. See if there's anything you want for 30 quid."
Well, at least that's the way of doing it, so you don't be parting no money, so that sort of stuff.
Oh, I love doing that with the traders. It's always fun when you can do a bit of trade bait.
Yeah. Just Mark, a follow-up question from Mark again for the QC problem. Do you find it with other lines like NECA, other Hasbro toy lines, or is just Power Rangers or anything else? I know you collect a bit of everything. Lego, you can't have any problems, can you? Except for like a missing piece.
No, Lego's always been okay. Funko and that have always been all right with it. I've never had issue with Funkos or anything. My main problem, I'm looking at my toy room now trying to think back of what I have had issues with. So like mainly some Star Wars stuff have been a bit iffy with Hasbro. There's been some QC issues with Star Wars. Because I had a couple of like Luke Skywalkers, their arms just broke off. And like because they use the same mold for everything, they use Lukes that just break very easily. But no, it's the McFarlane.
Yeah.
The toe hinge. The toe hinge always pops off. You'll always find a Harley Quinn or a figure that's got the popped little toe hinge and it'll never go back on because it's just stuck there. And just looking around the room. No, I tell you what though, the Jada toys are up and coming now, and they've had some of the best like figures this last year for me. I think and I've not noticed any QCR issues or any paint issues or anything with them. They've been lovely, and they're Universal Monsters for the price point at 22 quid. They've been on par with NECA easily.
Yeah. I know I follow a company. I was thinking who they is now. Like Kapow Toys always advertise them. Is it the three count or something? And they've got like a 1/6 scale of Maverick coming out.
All right.
And that looks pretty damn decent, perfectly honest.
Some of the stuff that I wish our UK companies would be able to get hold of some of this stuff. Some of the stuff like from America, like Loose Collector, they've got like the Hell Witch coming out. They've got Vampirella and sorry, is it Vampirella? Yeah, Vampire something. They've got all them kind of characters coming like Witchblades and you comic book characters that aren't as well known. Your Red Sonjas and they're doing all them kind of stuff. And then there were there's a third party company that are doing like a big. It looked like basically like Leatherhead from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but like a real version of it, like a realized version. It looks like a real crocodile.
Yeah, they're on Big Bad Toy Store, aren't they? That Leatherhead looks absolutely amazing. I'll give you that.
But yeah, the price on Big Bad Toy Store to import them to the UK is nuts.
Yeah.
I just wish some of our UK stock would get hold of them for us because there's some great stuff like those animal fantasy figures that have come out recently. Those like panthers and tigers and in like battle form.
I know there's the Mythic Legions that everyone's getting into in the UK, but not many people sell it except for like a few places down in London, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, when they announced the Headless Horseman, I had to get that. That's behind me over here somewhere.
Yeah.
I had to get the Headless Horseman.
I know some of the figures have been absolute great. The only companies, honestly, that bring them in, the biggest one I know of still is ID Toys. But then they bring in a load of other stuff. That's the only big company that could bring that in, other than your Forbidden Planet or that sort of stuff.
Yeah, props and replicas are starting to get good now here in the UK. They're starting to pick up some good lines. So I've been going through them for a lot of stuff these days.
Yeah. The problem is as well, you need a reliable company that if you open the box toy, I've noticed recently, if you open the toy, their QC or quality control for the company, you cannot send it back.
Yeah.
Go over to the grapevine through with our friends that, like the Power Ranger figures, you bought a Power Ranger figure, it's broken in the box. Or as soon as you take it out, you see it's broken. You say, sorry, we sold it to you brand new, you can't send it back. It's like, that's just ridiculous. They go and speak to the company, it's nothing to do with us,
Yeah. I've seen that. I think Comics and Cocktails, I think, are one of the people that say, like, you can't send things back now.
Yeah.
You got to go speak to Hasbro. And that's wrong on every level.
Yeah. They sell it brand new, and it's just like, the only people that can afford it would probably be Amazon.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. But yeah, other than that, the Comic and Cocktails, I've heard a few bit. They're amazing prices to deal with, but now with the broken figures, especially from companies, we sold it brand new. We can't do anything. Go and take it with Hasbro, which is a bit wrong on their part. But
have you seen some of the craziness going on with Hasbro at the moment? So like you've got the Hasbro Pulse website.
Yes.
And then Hasbro have their own eBay account in the UK. They have an official UK eBay account. Do you know about this?
No.
So they're selling the Bo-Katan Black Series helmet on their Hasbro Pulse website for £110. They're then selling the same exact helmet on eBay for £68.
But then telling you took your eBay fees off of them, it's like
exactly. It makes no sense. They're competing with themselves. So if you go on eBay and look it up, it's absolutely bonkers.
That's just. I heard about the Hasbro doing the warehouse clearance, but
so they did that. They did the warehouse clearance, and you could buy the GI Joe 2-pack with Snake Eyes and the Wolf, and that was like 30 something quid on the warehouse clearance. However, if you go on their Hasbro toy account on eBay, that's $22.99.
Oh,
it's crazy.
It's just crazy.
It's bonkers, and it's the official account. Because it says on it, it's all the official Hasbro stuff. It's insane.
The only thing, honestly, I do.
What is it called? Wolf? I can't remember. Timber something.
Yeah. Honestly, the only thing I love about the Hasbro Pulse, but I hate it at the same time, is if they do an exclusive, it's now available in America, UK, so you don't need to go to third-party sellers, which is amazing. But the only thing I hate now, if, say, for example, Star Wars Celebration may have an exclusive, you know, if they've got any left, they're going to put them on Hasbro Pulse. So then the whole world will do it in bits and pieces. By the look of it, I think Mark's put the eBay store for Hasbro up in the chat.
That is it. That is the one.
So thanks, Mark, for doing that for me. I'll leave that on this channel just in case anyone wants to check it. So, but yeah, I hate it because I always ask a few other people, like especially shop owners and companies. We've got a few companies in the pipeline coming up in my Sunday night toy chats. Basically, when now does the exclusive become an exclusive? You know, what's the point of now going to a show and that sort of stuff? And like we talked off here, we mentioned Galaxy's Edge. There's a few companies other than eBay selling Galaxy's Edge merch and that sort of stuff, which is, you don't mind paying the price because you can't physically get there. But what's the no point of going to, say, for example, San Diego Comic Con to get the exclusives when you can now get them in your little couch in your corner of your room or your nice sports chair behind you?
Yep.
You know, it's crazy. So, but you know, so technically, then for the rest of the year, anything you've got, anything you're looking forward to in toy wise, or hoping to get, or like planning, hope to come out at some point?
So yeah, for me, I'm hoping that we continue to keep getting some great stuff from DavidWorldToys and their Universal Monsters line, and I hope they announce their Wave 3 pretty soon. But big stuff later on in the year, I'm hoping for some re-releases of some classic monsters from the Marvel Legends team. They've obviously released like Werewolf by Night, you know, as a TV thing, and they've never backed it up with any figures or anything. And like Elsa Bloodstone's a very old figure at this point. She came in the A-Force box set, so I mean that's a pretty old fig now. I think if they re-released a lot of these like older ones, like a modern version of Dracula with Blade as a 2-pack, things like that. I think if they give us some of the darker side of Marvel, if you will, I think people would buy it. Especially with Blade coming out as well.
Something like a now and then pack and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd love something like that because, like, with Blade coming out, and I think they've already kind of said that there's going to be another MCU like special this Halloween again. They're going to continue that monsters theme, and they need to back it up with some toys, I reckon.
Yeah, perfectly honest, I absolutely the What If series when they all come zombies. That was just, I still like that episode. That had the whole lot. That was incredible.
I know the Blade so far on the shelf. I've got the Iron Man, the Cap, and the Scarlet Witch behind me. Love them.
Do you find in the UK to be easy to find them type of toys, or do you like pre-order that sort of stuff?
It didn't used to be. I think a while ago, like when I first started collecting, it was hard to get stuff. But then as all these companies have come out, like your Kapow Toys, your In-Demand Toys, all these companies have come out, and it's made it so much easier now just to get hold of anything because there's so many shops. I found nowadays that I don't even have to pre-order half of it. You wait to see who gets it in stock first.
yeah. But everyone puts it up at the same price. It's like you can pre-order from one company, but they could get it in 6 weeks after the first company that gets it in.
Yeah. So my money goes to whoever gets it in first these days. That's how I run.
Smart way of doing it.
Mm.
I know for a fact that normally the New York Toy Fair gives us a whole year, but I know recently Mattel, Playmates, and a few other companies have done San Francisco show-offs weekends.
Mm.
I know the Toy Fair in New York is happening in like October, which is quite weird. You've also got San Diego, that sort of stuff. I think the MCM Comic Con could be the first big company one to show off if they got any companies going there. Hopefully not Funko, with all the Funkos out, you know. But yeah, it's been completely different, unique. It's quite good for toy, yeah, perfectly honest.
Yeah, we've got a lot of like big stuff coming out this year as well. Like Jurassic Park is hitting its 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of merch coming out of that. Some of the Lego sets they've announced look awesome. Like some of them are they're not massive sets, but they're like classic looking, like the one with Dennis Nedry and the Dilophosaurus.
Yeah,
that looks cool. And then you've got like the Ellie one with the poorly Triceratops. That looks awesome. There's just some great little sets that are like 20 quid here and there that you can kind of dabble in. You don't have to be a big Lego collector to like have them.
No.
I love that
Perfectly
kind of
honest, I've been so tempted. I always liked Indiana Jones. I've been so tempted to dive into the Indiana Jones, like the reissue of the Hasbro. I've got most of the Playmates, the smaller figures. But when I seen is it £120 big Lego set that's coming out from Lego?
Yeah, it got
When it's got like,
it dropped the other day.
I'm just like, I'm so tempted, but then where do I put it is the question, $1 million question. You know, I don't know, but it's one set that I'm looking at again and again. I'm like, you know, I don't know what to do yet. I know. Because
Yeah,
Lego very rarely goes down in price.
Yeah, I went the other day to Lego because it was the 100th Disney launch for Lego. So we went to go pick that up, but we didn't realize that on the same day, Indiana Jones was dropping, the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 line was dropping. There was just I think the Land Rover or something dropped from Lego. There was just a mass of people there, all buying different sets and kits, and it was mental. But like they were selling out of that big £100 set of Indy. They were selling the Temple of Doom set was selling out instantly. Every time they put them on the shelf, people were grabbing them.
Oh. Yeah, it's the one set I'm looking at. And I'm like, oh man. I don't know. I've got a few other things coming up first, but you know, I know Casey Smith's do like a weekend special, so I'm hoping it's not this weekend for Easter, but we never know. We'll see how it goes.
Sainsbury's have got a Lego discount on right now because I went today and I picked up this. Hang on.
Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ask any more questions in the chat. I'll put Super Scroll's details in the chat after.
I know it's only a little set, but I couldn't resist. Michael Morbius versus Miles Morales, but Miles Morales apparently has a sports car now. But it was the Morbius figure I wanted out of it more than anything. This set was marked down to 15 quid from 20, so £5 off. It's only been out a few weeks.
That's crazy.
And they had a load of other stuff all on discount as well at Sainsbury's.
Yeah, because it's Easter weekend, Easter week over, isn't it, for 2 weeks? So
yeah, so all kids are off right now, so
yeah,
all discounts are on.
I thought I'd do a couple of honourable mentions during the week and bits and pieces. Tomorrow night I am doing my 3-year anniversary on YouTube starting at 8 o'clock. I have sent a few special, if they come on, if they can, I don't know. If not, I'll probably be on myself for at least half hour to an hour. You've also got the Toy Vision guys on a Wednesday night. They're on tomorrow. Me and Dark Liking 81 on his channel on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, I don't think there's much on, but Friday you've got Super Squirrel on his channel doing the Star Wars Galaxy Head walking round. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Sunday night I'm still working on if I am doing one, but on Sunday also, normally on Sundays, a guy called Monkey Lizard, Slashes Rum, he does a Lego build. So if you guys want to build Lego or watch people build Lego and talk about Lego, that's normally on a Sunday morning on his channel. He started that back up. If you're thinking of going to like the Barry Potter's NEC Toy Fair, next Tuesday at 9 o'clock on this channel, on my channel, next Tuesday, I'll have one of the Potter guys, owners, coming onto my channel doing a pre-NEC Toy Fair for the following Sunday. And then normally you've got the ZSA guys on a Friday. Anything you want to shout out or anything live streams you want to plug or mention?
So if you don't mind me plugging, each week me and Jacob's Toys do a podcast called the Geek Week in Review, where we talk about this week's geeky week, basically. So any news from the toy industry, and we basically talk about Mandalorian and the TV shows we're watching. And we go for about 2 hours on Jacob's Toys YouTube channel.
And what day is that on?
That's 9:30 p.m. on a Sunday night, live on Jacob's Toys YouTube channel.
Yeah, because I normally do 8 till 9 or 9 to 10, so I'll mention that on the channel the weekend.
Thank you.
And that's on Jacob's Toys?
Yeah, Jacob's Toys.
After when we finish the channel, if you want to send me Jacob's YouTube channel. I'll put it in the description down below. So that sort of stuff. Don't forget the Culture Cast tomorrow night as well from Brian's fantastic channel, which is on a Wednesday. I know Ed's Retro Geek Out is also on Thursday night, I think at 9 or 10 p.m. Thank you for that, Ash.
Nice.
So, to follow Super Score, I'll put all his information after the live stream in the description down below with a few other bits. So, Super Score, where can we actually find you? If people want to like sub to you, follow you, and where can they reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm basically available on nearly every platform these days. I mainly post on YouTube for my big toy reviews. But if you want to follow just little and short updates, then I'm also on Instagram and TikTok. And you can find me all at Super Sorrel.
That's easy enough to remember. Any shows you're attending, just in case they want to meet you in person and get that lovely photo?
Yeah, you can find me on Easter Monday at Contract Comic Con in Sunderland at the Rayton Arena. I'll be there with my stall, Super Toys, and you can come along and say hello to me, or Jet from the Gladiators, because she's a lot better looking than me.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen Jet at the one of the Showmaster events, and so there you go. So
she's always lovely.
You're welcome, Brian. So keep up your good work, dude, and bits and pieces. So just before we finish, one last little question. You've announced like podcast. Anything different with podcast or chats and that sort of stuff? Or how would you go about doing a podcast? Do I just normally do like a toy chat?
Yeah, so at the moment, I think YouTube are really pushing podcasts. Like at the moment, you can change your playlist from a playlist to a podcast list. And they're really starting to want to compete in the podcast world. So if you're wanting to start a podcast, now is probably the best time to do it. Me and Jacob have been doing it for just over a year, about a year and a bit now. We're coming up on his anniversary again very soon. So we've been doing it quite a while now. It's been good. It's been good. I enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun. It just gives us an outlet to talk geekiness each week.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you do on a Sunday night is technically a podcast.
Yeah.
If you're doing it each Sunday, you're doing the same thing each Sunday, that's a podcast, really. So
so we're calling it a live toy chat live stream, just call it a podcast and that sort of stuff. And
yeah, well, like we don't like the Geek Week in Review is just the Geek Week in Review. We don't call it a podcast. It just is. And if you change your playlist to a podcast on YouTube, then it gets pushed out with all the other podcasty stuff.
I might change that then. Thank you for that, sir. So the last honourable mentions, you've got thank you again to Erlin, Fuller Figures, Brian Action Figure Reviews, Jonathan, Shabby, Roland's Reviews, Dark Like in 81, Gerard, Fuller Figures. Thanks again to Erlin for looking after the chat just in case we had any weird bots or bits and pieces in. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us on a special Tuesday night special with Super Squirrel. It's been an absolutely pleasure, sir, to pick your brain on toys, action figures, and how you do it. Keep up the good work. Hope you get to the 40K quite quick.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And again, congrats to you. 1,000 subs and 3 years on YouTube. That's good, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. I basically started because it's like the insurance wanted more publicity of what I collected, that sort of stuff. You've also got Ronaldo in the chat as well. If I missed anyone, I apologise. But, so there you go, Mr. Ronaldo. We need to get him. I need to get him in at some point, hopefully. He's a big toy collector. I think he's in Florida. So work out the time difference and that sort of stuff. I've got a few other bits coming up on Sunday Night Toy Chat with a few companies I got coming up. A few other specials coming up very soon. But no, guys, thanks again, everyone, for joining us for this Tuesday night special. Don't forget, I'll be back on tomorrow at 8 p.m. UK time if you guys want to join me. Also, after it, probably jump onto the Toy Division guys or vice versa. Guys, don't forget to stay safe, keep well. Anything else you want to finish with, Super?
Just thank you all very much for watching and chatting in the comments, and just thank you for having us on.
No, you're welcome, sir. So if you want to stay there for 30 seconds. But no, thanks again for everyone. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the videos around. I've learned quite a lot of things tonight from Mr. Super. He is the definitely super special guy. So, but no, thanks again for joining me.
No
Guys,
worries,
stay safe, keep well. See everyone hopefully tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I will give more shout outs and honorary mentions. Thanks, Full of Figures, for the bits. If there is any other live streams, don't forget to shout them out. Thanks again, guys. Keep well, and may the toys protect you always. Thank you.